Today's Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, and I'm going to keep reading from Isaiah. I'm going to keep reading one chapter. I'm glad there's some interest in doing more reading. These are very interesting chapters. Maybe when I want to just get through more stuff, I'll do 2 chapters, but I also like keeping things really simple and accessible and reasonable. Small changes. That just seems like a theme that's been going on in my life for the past year or so. Just trying to make small changes that I can easily accomplish. Not making any big changes, not jumping into anything, but just trying to make little changes in my life that just make my life more enjoyable or more positive, that fuel me spiritually is a big aspect of the things that I'm trying to change in my life. So yeah, I'm just enjoying this, slowly making sure to read at least one chapter from the Bible every day. It's a nice change from what I was doing before, which was not reading my Bible very often. But Isaiah is so interesting. This chapter in particular is so interesting. I looked ahead at the next chapter. It's really interesting. So yeah, I don't mind taking my time. And also, I am pretty busy, and that is something that I could talk about, that just what I've been doing these days. And one thing that I do these days is homeschool, and I guess that's a topic I could talk about. Maybe there's some people here that are interested, or maybe you're going to start a family at some point. Not that I advise that. It's really rough having children in this time period. Anyways, that's just what's been going on with me. Trying to do more social events, get out in real life, that type of stuff. So keeping it to 1 chapter a day on the internet, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. Anyways, enough rambling. But my personal ramble about this chapter, Isaiah chapter 23, I believe Tyre is a good candidate for Atlantis. And I'll just leave it at that and read this chapter. I might have some stuff to say. We'll see. I will say they talk about ancient cities here too, which that has just been a topic that's been so interesting to me. How much the Bible supports the idea of ancient cities and people coming into cities and re-inhabiting them and refurbishing them. Because that's exactly what we can tell happens with the historical resets. They wipe out a huge amount of the population, and then they have to start bullshitting history to explain away all these ancient buildings instead of telling you the truth about their history. They have to make up some new thing and say they were built in a couple years. Anyways, the burden of Tyre, howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in from the land of Chittim. It is revealed to them. Be still, ye inhabitants of the isle, thou whom the merchants of Zidon that pass over the sea have replenished. And by great waters, the seed of Sihor, the harvest of the river, is her revenue, and she is a mart of nations. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea hath spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. As at the report concerning Egypt, so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre. Pass ye over to Tarshish, howl, ye inhabitants of the isle. Is this your joyous city, whose antiquity is of the ancient days? Her own feet shall carry her afar off to sojourn. That's interesting. So, her own feet will carry her far off. It's just a personal theory that Tyre is Atlantis, and Tyre was a huge island kingdom that just disappeared. Maybe it sank into the sea, as tales like to say. But where it says her own feet shall carry her afar off to sojourn, that's interesting. Who hath taken this counsel against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants are princes, whose traffickers are the honorable of the earth? So that's interesting too. This place was so well renowned that just the merchants of that city were princes. I find that very interesting, that the merchant class of this city were like king or royalty, not quite king, I guess, but princes. But still, how interesting that the merchant class of this place was basically royalty compared to everywhere else in the world. Whose traffickers are the honorable of the earth. I think of like air traffic controllers, except they're like in the ocean. The Lord of hosts hath purposed it to stain the pride of all glory, and to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. Pass through thy land as a river, O daughter of Tarshish, there is no more strength. He stretched out his hand over the sea, he shook the kingdoms. The Lord hath given a commandment against the merchant city, to destroy the strongholds thereof. And he said, Thou shalt no more rejoice, O thou oppressed virgin, daughter of Zidon. Arise, pass over to Chittim, there also shalt thou have no rest. Behold, the land of the Chaldeans. This people was not, till the Assyrian founded it for them that dwell in the wilderness. They set up the towers thereof, they raised up the palaces thereof, and he brought it to ruin. Very interesting. It's like this talks about the beginning of the end of this people in the same line. Anything about the Chaldeans is very interesting to me, because I think modern day, what we speak of English is actually an ancient, revived language that's based off ancient Chaldean. That's just my own pet theory. I think that has something to do with the whole Chaldean. There's a type of gematria that works for a lot of English words. It's called Chaldean gematria. And I think that USA is modern day Babylon. And so I think that it makes sense to revive an old dead language for modern day Babylon. I think it just makes sense. And the whole Assyrian thing, because we just talked about the Assyrians, and just the way that I interpreted it, the Assyrians sounded just like this war machine. So this whole verse 13 is so interesting to me, that this people was not, this war machine came in and founded the land for them, and that they dwell in the wilderness. So were the Chaldeans just some pagans that were living in the wilderness until the Assyrians came and helped them set up a land, and then they built towers and huge palaces? And just very interesting. And he brought it to ruin at the end there. Okay, I'm just going to finish up. Howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as an harlot. And I think that's interesting, like kind of the lost city of Atlantis ideas. That Tyre was forgotten about for 70 years. That also reminds me of Atlantis. Take an harp, go about the city, thou harlot that hast been forgotten. Make sweet melody, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. And it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years that the Lord will visit Tyre, and he shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. And her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness to the Lord. It shall not be treasured nor laid up, for her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before the Lord, to eat sufficiently, and for durable clothing. Okay, so that's really interesting what's going down on at the bottom there. So did Tyre come back for a while? And I'm not sure, but this Tyre place certainly seems important, and like it had a lot of sway over the earth, and similar to Mystery Babylon notions here, where committing fornication with the kingdoms of the whole earth, like a social, whenever that comes up, I just think of these places as being like a cultural phenomenon that the whole earth knows about. That's just what I think of personally. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. God bless everyone.